They gots to. They don't know what's going on. Oh. Get all the cat hair off my helmet band.
Yeah, right. Really? You had to wait for me to bring this over to you?
That's how it works. To be fair, they don't need to. I've seen them do it.
I'm aware. I know how much they love this chair. It's
They
part
do
of why
like
I
that
keep
chair.
a blanket on it permanently.
So they can't wreck it up.
Yeah. Well, and also to keep some of the cat hair off of it.
That also is true.
Pippi, baby.
Hey, you. He's just doing his own thing.
He always does.
He's the bestest boy.
He is the bestest boy.
The bestest cat. Doesn't throw up, doesn't piss on the rug, doesn't do anything he's not supposed to. All the other ones. Scratching on the chair too, Oliver, and you're gonna let him do that?
I mean, it's something that, like, I think Mom's husband got for me. Mom or Mom's husband, both of them, whatever, they're the same person. Got for me very cheap.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta get a better chair.
Just something I think they picked up for me from like Unclaimed Freight or something.
Oh, so. Yeah. I should stop in one day before
we
work.
Should. That, yeah. You, us, whatever. That
and
would be a good
get a chair
for some things, yeah.
Lawn chair's not good on my back.
No, I can't imagine so.
It's not the best.
Pippi's in the tent that my blanket has created. That's one of his favorite spaces. Is he bopped himself.
Smokes the fucking desk.
It's okay. It doesn't live up to the embarrassment of that squirrel we watched run away the other day.
That's fair. Just eat shit on the bench. Hey, you. Come here, buddy. You gotta do a thing. Do the thing!
Ah! My foot!
I mean, not that thing, but I did tell him to do the thing.
We had one person watch for all of 10 seconds.
That's okay. It's probably just the people that jump in for like 2 seconds to try to steal my internet browser information, but I have a VPN now, so they can't. Mm-hmm. So normally the people that flicker on and off, they pop in because they have a bot to try to snatch whatever information they can, and when it goes, I can't, it just drops out immediately.
Okay.
They do that a lot. It's a weird thing. Because I don't think you want the SWAT team to bust down our front door.
It's not the preference.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I want, especially if I'm trying to sleep and I have to get up in the morning, or if I'm already up in the morning.
Yeah.
All of those things, which I do have to set up my coffee before I go to bed, so I can't forget that.
That's true. Because it would be very easy to bust down that door. There isn't even a deadbolt on it.
Whoa, thanks for announcing that.
They don't know where I live yet, but I probably should. No, they don't know the new address.
Well,
but
I've gotten plenty of packages here, so.
Yeah. Not from any of them.
Oh.
But I might have to change the YouTube name and stuff again too, because it'll be tied to the old address, and I don't want to bring it here to the new address.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Because that's just.
Oh, that's okay, Pip. Just jump 6 feet in the air. It's fine.
There's an Oliver hiding in the shadows. He likes to do that. How many people are on the Discord? I told them.
Not many, because it's pretty late here.
7 are on.
Pretty early elsewhere.
Even Tom and
what
Alexi
the
are on.
fuck? Go to bed.
No, Tom's a bed. He's idle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alexi's on though.
Was gonna say, like,
he needs to work in the morning.
Exactly.
Gibnark.
Yeah, so
they're all
online,
technically
but
active.
2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them are idle. So really,
That's all right.
it's only
Idle
3
doesn't
people,
mean
including you.
necessarily that they're asleep, but it means that it's up
Yeah,
on one
but
of their devices. For Tom, it's probably asleep. He has
yeah,
to work.
exactly.
He does have to work. That's just the thing. But it is also, yes, pretty fucking late, and it is Wednesday.
it's
Wednesday. I was gonna say, I
It's
know
Wednesday
days.
into Thursday, so
I know days sometimes. I can understand stuff like that. This is one of my projects. I'm making it just like the ones the Canadians bought from the Americans in the late 70s.
sure.
Because it's just an American helmet. Just all it is. It's just like a Vietnam era M1. They got them with these cool helmet covers, which is just like this pattern, but smaller. It's called Erdl.
Different.
Yeah, Erdl pattern. And did I do that right? Yeah. This is what you had to do back in the day if you wanted to be camouflaged. Well, we got 2. Watching me try to form fit an M1 helmet cover. It's an art form.
I'm not watching much of it, considering it's mostly happening off camera.
They know what I'm doing. They know what a pain in the ass this shit is. Hopefully. Because this is like a multi-day process to get it to look really nice.
And they're gone.
That's all right. They can be gone. It's probably more bots. There's a lot of people that are out to get me. Gotta have your cat eyes on there, so your buddies don't shoot you in the back. It's a pretty good start for day 1. Well, there. Yes, I am here. I'm doing this to my M1 helmet cover.
I know you can't tell because it's all happening off screen.
I'm stretching it. You got to stretch that fabric so it gets nice and tight. And then in like 2 days, I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna wet it and I'm gonna stretch it again. It'll be beautiful. It'll be like it's painted on, which works for modern helmet covers. So it'll get all sloppy and floppy like this bullshit. You don't want to look like a worthless fucking new pogue.
One of my friends, I don't know what he's doing right now. He just snapped earlier today me a picture of some of the rangers that I don't know if he's like deployed or pre-deployed right now. Straight up, one of these rangers was wearing like army green, like Converse style shoes with like black like toe bumpers and shit.
Yeah, the maritime shoes.
Oh my god, ridiculous.
They're actually an authorized set of footwear, not as like a combat shoe, but they're an authorized footwear in the U.S. military.
That.
They're like Converse built for war.
I have to go like double check that, but like, yeah, it was absolutely.
Because if you want a
ridiculous.
pair, it's they make them in like the camouflage patterns
I
too of all the
don't want a
branches.
pair because all it's going to do is cause everyone to ask me questions, and then I'm going to have to refer to weird things that probably aren't in AR 670-1.
Yeah,
But also, I would rather just wear the boots that I already have and like not be that person. But
that's right. Decorative cardboard. That's right. And no, Ryan, your stuff got shipped. For some reason, they only let me have boxes this size. And I wasn't going to ask you to send more money to try to ship 2 helmets in a box that size. So I had to shop around for a smaller box. So your stuff just went out a little later than the other two. The other two have already got their stuff. So your stuff should hopefully be showing up here by the end of the week.
oh, okay, I was gonna say what, like fucking tomorrow?
No. It just because I had to go find a smaller box because I didn't want to pay the extra shipping, or ask him to pay the extra shipping. So I just because for some reason finding a double-walled cardboard box in a smaller size is a pain in the ass to do. So I ended up having to drive all the way to the Walmart in Sartell to find one because St. Cloud just for every day for like a week could not manage to stock theirs.
Yeah, obviously.
So there we go. Look at me now. Like a Canadian in the 70s back when we were, exterminating the Indian nations for being on land we want.
No, that was the Minnesotans. We got real good at killing Indians.
The last time the Canadian government committed a genocide against the natives was 1992.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Big yikes.
They did it under the guise of the Indians were protesting. The native Canadians were protesting, and one of them threw a rock. So the Canadian Special Forces returned fire into like 90 of them. And then they just took a bulldozer and mass graved them. That's the tradition in Canada. And then in 100 years, we'll try to build a school there and be like, and it'll be a problem.
Or like a fairground or something. And then it's going to be like, why is the weather always shitty when we try to do stuff? No, my hometown had like a very prominent like Indian chief grave. And then they like did a thing over it and like, it was, I'll try not to get too specific, but like,
it's like
did a thing over it, and it was like, just our area was like droughted for multiple summers in a row. Just our area, like surrounding areas, it was fine. And then they were like, well, like maybe let's like move that and not have our shit on top of an ancient Indian burial ground. And after they moved it, the next year, like shit was fine. And like I don't really get into that sort of thing, but it's like it's kind of funny to joke about at least. But
I'm just tired of like every time Canada's like we're building a brand new giant facility, to like help everybody
on top
and like
of an ancient Indian burial ground.
No, and it's like do this, and then like the very first like bucket load is like an ass load of bones, and it's like an ancient Indian burial. And then they have to like go through the records to try to figure out what Indians were murdered and buried in a mass grave here. And then, and it's a thing every single time because the Canadian government's like owned all of the fucking land everywhere for forever. So anytime they try to build a new school or hospital or any bullshit, like government building, it's like, bones.
Yeah, I think ours was like they moved like an Indian chief's grave or something. And then weird summers, and then they moved it back, I think is what happened. And then after they moved it back, it was fine. But even if it's a coincidence, it's a little bit too spooky. So
the Sioux Uprising. I remember reading about that. That did take place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I was going to say, John B said hi from Minnesota, so like hi back from Minnesota.
That's right.
And he also likes your videos with Mike B, so I feel like John B is like, that's Mike B.
No.
In disguise.
It would be Mike B's not going to go through that much effort to troll me. He would just troll me anyways.
Yeah, John B, that's just Mike B. Like, you can't find a more generic name. That's
fair.
Just Mike B.
That's right.
John B is Mike B, everybody.
It could be.
So.
Could be. He was way better at hiding their skeleton. Apparently not. But at least they're skeletons. We didn't do this whole Trail of Tears bullshit. We're like, you're on the land we want? Well, it's about time you stop existing. And then we made them stop existing, because why bother moving them? Then they just get upset.
Just kill them and then they can't get back.
That's right. There was like things for a while there too, like, in the early 1900s when the United States is like, oh, we're sorry, Native Americans, we'll give you like reparation money and stuff. And Canada was like, oh, we're sorry, Native Canadians, we'll give you reparation money. Bam! To anybody who showed up to like get reparation money.
Yikes.
It was great. Hey, it worked out.
It was great.
We don't have to give away any Native American. There's no Native-owned casinos in Canada.
Yeah.
Nope, can't be a thing.
It's mostly just like Minnesota, or at least the area. It's not a thing in the entire country.
No, it's just, it's a lot of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Because we actually give the Native Americans a lot of freedom compared to a lot of other states.
Well, yeah, I was going to say we have a lot more reservation lands than a lot of other places as well. So
We have a lot of reservation lands, and all of them are bad. Unfortunately.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, unless you're looking to get, kidnapped as a child, or, killed, or just, ignored by the government in general.
Or if you want to openly buy drugs and it's not illegal.
True.
You can definitely do that.
True.
And if you want to smoke indoors, you definitely can do that.
Yeah, because they pretty much all operate under like being a sovereign.
It's a sovereign nation, technically, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
They have some federal laws they have to adhere to. Other than that, they make their own rules.
Yeah, pretty wild. So.
No. You can still smoke in some of the casinos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the real, actual, like Indian reservation casinos, you can smoke inside of still.
And they reek.
It's bad. It's so gross. It's like going back to like the 90s / early thousands in some places where you could just smoke inside of like, bars and most restaurants.
It's but if they put up that little sign and you sat on the other side of it, you couldn't get secondhand smoke.
It was fine.
Yeah. That's how it worked. Except there, it's not a thing. I don't think they let you smoke like in the restaurant and stuff like that, but like on the casino floor, definitely you can smoke.
I think casino floor for sure. A lot of the restaurant / buffet floors probably not anymore, but it's really hard to say like overall because I haven't been to all of them, and that's kind of the thing with them getting to function, sovereign is, it's different. So
yeah, that's right. It is a reservation thing. They have their own police, their own investigators and stuff like that. They can ask for the state's assistance.
They can,
but the state can deny helping assistance. And they do a lot. So, oh, you had 20 kids go missing? Why the fuck is that our problem?
Which, it really sucks because, like, that's where, like, shitty people will, like, go there to, like, fucking kidnap people because, like, there's a really good chance it's just, it'll be fine. They'll get away with it because of the way things are set up. And
that's true. Unless it's a white kid that was taken.
True. Well, but then, then it's a white kid who was taken in a sovereign nation. So it kind of, if they go to someone for help, it's not, why is this our problem? It's, oh, I see why this is our problem. It was a white person.
That's right. And then they demand reparations and get really down on the reservation for allowing stuff like that to happen and find the shit out of them. And because the state. What are you doing over there? Why are you making so much noise?
Yeah.
If they're spilling more fucking water, they do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It is very depressing. A lot of them can't drink. Like, reservations are dry. Not really here. There's some actually dry reservations
not here.
There's a couple of them that are dry, especially when you get out like towards the Dakotas. A lot of the Dakota reservations are dry, like in western Minnesota. But like the Ojibwe still fucking drink and smoke like fish in chimneys. They don't give a shit. But yeah. What do you do? Yeah, reservation life's terrible. It sucked to live there. But you don't have to pay any taxes, which is great. Fuck taxes. If they don't have income tax, they get free healthcare from the federal government for life. Like, literally everything is paid for. They do not pay a cent, which is awful because I don't know why they're so fucking unhealthy. If it's literally free, like, fucking go to the doctor.
Well, because, there's probably a lot of things there. But
oh, he lives in New Ulm. That's actually pretty close by.
I know New Ulm. That's actually where my family first emigrated to, was New Ulm, before they moved up to close to where I am now.
Interesting.
Yes.
Don't they have a pretty good restaurant in New Ulm?
Probably.
Or am I thinking of
I
a
mean,
different city?
Minnesota, so like good restaurant, probably
Yeah,
somewhere.
somewhere. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've actually ever like visited New Ulm. I've probably been there for something before, but
Yeah. It's one of those little like blink and you miss it cities. It's not
yeah,
anything
so,
fancy. But yeah, that's not too far from
yeah. Yeah, that's where my grandparents moved when they immigrated here. But nobody tells me to go back to my country because I'm
fair.
white.
I get told to go back to my country all the time, and
Yeah.
I am white.
It's really fun. It gets really fun because I know a few Mexican families who have like actually been here longer than both of my families have on both of my parents' sides. And they're still the ones who like get all the shit about going back to their countries, and it's like, I actually came here after them.
Same.
But, you know, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
I love when people have to be like, "Oh, those fucking
but not
immigrants,"
you.
and I have to be like, "Excuse me."
You're like, I literally
Yeah.
have a green card.
No, I'm full-fledged
Well,
citizen now. Yeah.
It's like, well, I literally had to take the citizenship test because I literally
It's so
was born
fucking
in
easy.
Canada,
Like
but-
that's the other thing that I hate about people that are like, "You've lived here for how long and you haven't even like attempted to take the citizenship test?" That's all you have to do to be a citizen.
Well, the one thing I will say is that test is only offered in English.
Yeah.
So you
Because
do
that's
have
the
to-
national language.
It's not. We don't have a national
No,
language.
we do.
No,
It's
we
English.
don't.
It is. That's
No,
the official language of the United States
no
is English.
official language, and that's the thing, is there isn't an official national language. We're like the only country that doesn't have one. It's just that it's the
That's right.
unofficial. It's the unofficial national language.
No, I remember because we argued about this before, and every state had the right to choose their language, and all of them individually picked English. So there isn't a
But-
national language,
yep.
but every
But
state's
it's
official
not-
language
It's
is
not
English.
the official like national language, so you don't actually have to like know English. However, if you want to be able to do anything here, you have to. So it's like the
Yeah.
unofficial official language, because
Yeah.
citizenship test is only offered in English. When you do things like go to public schools, all the standardized testing is only in English, like all of that sort of stuff. So like we function as though it's the official language, but it's not. It's legally not.
Yeah, there are
But
states
we
that
pretend it is.
there are states that do recognize multiple languages. It's usually like California, New Mexico,
Yeah.
Arizona, Texas, and Spanish.
Yep,
is
border states
yeah.
for Spanish.
And but like, and
I
there's
think
some
most
that
of those
operate.
actually though, like, because there's been stuff, and only because I had to study education, is the reason that they have so many schools that are underperforming is because they're not allowed to offer standardized tests in languages other than English.
Yeah, because the
So-
state's official language is English, but they have recognized secondary languages.
Like, I don't know if I want to say that that's actually the reason, but like, we'll go, because things
Yeah.
like Pearson, like if you don't know, if you're not into this sort of thing, they have a monopoly on standardized testing. Pearson owns the ACT, they own the SAT, they own STAR, they own MCA,
All the standardized
they
tests.
own all of the standardized testing. And so like, because of that, like, because they're a national company, they're not gonna like try to like go into like individual states things. They only offer English.
Mhm.
So, and because pretty like literally every state goes through Pearson, because they also do the teacher licensure stuff. So there's a couple different ones, but they also do that like through colleges. They also do all of the teacher licensure programs. But when I say a monopoly, I'm not joking. They literally have a monopoly on all of the standardized testing throughout education, literally kindergarten through graduate school. It all belongs to them. It's all only in English.
Yep.
They don't offer any other language at any time at all, anywhere, ever.
Yeah,
So,
which is, I mean, I wonder if it's one of those things too, where like, if they did it in Spanish, is it one of those things where
they
like,
would absolutely get higher pass rates in
no.
states. Okay.
I wonder if it's one of those things where it's like, if we did it in Spanish, is Spanish the same as like Mexican or Hispanic as American is to like actual English? because there's very different grammar and words and structure to actual English as compared to American. And I know that
mean,
Hispanic and like actual Spanish is different. Hey! They're fighting up there. God damn it.
so, I mean, yes and no. I mean, one of the bigger arguments is like like most people here, I guess, at least in the US, like it's becoming more and more like talked about that we do academic English and then like conversational English or like whatever you want to call it. And so academic English tends to be more the same across different countries that do English, but we recognize that most of the time that's not how we speak English. I would say, at least in a lot of the like Latino people I know, like they all it's similar to them. Like they have like a written sort of language that they don't necessarily always do the way that we don't really use academic English that much in our everyday lives, but we know how to write in it. And I've become a little bit more immersed in that and a little bit more immersed into like some of the like slang and like shorthand and texting with a lot of Latino people now because I work with a lot of Latino people. So it's, it's definitely very different because like I learned a lot of like probably what you would call like academic Spanish. And that's another thing is a lot of times people will either learn Spain Spanish or
Spanish.
Mexico Spanish
Hispanic.
because those are different. So generally whatever teacher you learn from kind of has a bigger background in one or the other. The biggest thing is going to be accent, not necessarily syntax or grammar. But generally you will have that distinction, but it should be good enough to be able to get you through interactions either way. But anyone who's like a native speaker would obviously have enough know-how to be able to get through either of those scenarios. Just like we could talk with anyone from like England and they might talk a little bit different, but like for the most part we're gonna get our way through. And if we can't, we're gonna be able to have the tools to like ask what the fuck they mean.
Yeah.
So
but it's just one of those things where I wonder, it's like because every state was able to standardize their own language and they picked English. Like also like that's how it is in Canada too. Like Quebec speaks French. A lot of people there speak French, but the like language all of the governments operate in is English. The military operates in English. All of Parliament is held in English because that's the official language, But French is a recognized language enough to where they put it on literally everything. The stop signs even are in English and French. But
which is interesting because I thought that they had English and French both official languages.
No.
Or if it was territory, just some of the territories adopted both.
The official language is English, but a recognized secondary language is French. So everything official, like government documentation and like how military command orders and everything are going to come down in English and only in English. Like you use the radio in English.
In English, yeah.
Yeah, but like all of the mac and cheese boxes will have English and French. So, but it will always be English first because English is the official language of all the provinces and territories. So,
yeah.
But we could do something like that, but the US is just so fucking hard-headed and changed. They won't ever fucking do anything like adopt the metric system.
Well, it would be expensive to do that. That's the big thing. Like,
just start teaching it in school. Eventually, everyone will die off.
Yeah, eventually, in like literally 100 years, but also it's like, as far as like metric system stuff goes. So I actually, and this goes in terms of cooking more than other things, because generally when we talk about switching to the metric systems, things that I bring up are like, you have to replace every single road sign everywhere, or at least add another one so that you have kilometers per hour in addition to miles per hour.
That's easy. They can do that in a few years.
It's years though. That's the thing, is it's years, and what do you do in those transition periods? But on top, I mean, we still have old people who don't understand how to use roundabouts. Like, we teach roundabouts now, but you still have, I've seen old people
Turn left at a roundabout.
yeah, they take left turns into a roundabout, and it's like the mental gymnastics.
That's
you
a
had to
traffic
go
circle for
through.
you Europeans, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. But like the mental gymnastics it had to take to like make that left-hand turn into that roundabout is just insane on an entirely different level. Like, nothing is pointing you to do that. You have all of the signs like telling you which lanes go which way. It's not easy to try to make a left into a roundabout, and
Yeah.
still people do it. People can't figure it out. And it's like, we could make some of these changes, but like, we're still going to have a lot of that carryover. But that's just the start. So the other things that we can talk about are like, one of the things that it's more popular is like cooking, specifically baking. And that one I actually found very fun, because what happened was, at the time, like when the US started getting a larger population, neither the US or anywhere in Great Britain had actually a standardized measurement system for baking. And so what ended up happening, the reason that the reason that Europe generally measures in grams and will measure in weight, and the US measures in like cups and stuff, they developed separately around the same time, and obviously they weren't doing a lot of communicating back and forth. And then there was like one specific person in the US who kind of made like the first standardized measuring or cookbook, because there weren't a lot of standardized cookbooks before this time. And there was one person who kind of did the first one, and there were some like standardized like cups, and like that's what they ended up using, and that's what ended up becoming our standardized cup, half cup, as well as tablespoon, teaspoon, that sort of thing, is what she used. And since that was the first time that was standardized, that's kind of just what we rolled with.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was actually after that book was published and started becoming popular and used in the US, after that point is when Europe started using grams as a standardized system for all of their baking and writing down recipes, because also around this time there was a lot of stuff that was still oral tradition. So there still just wasn't a lot of stuff written down, which is why it seems like maybe this happened really late in history, that things were becoming like standardized on paper, but lots of things were oral tradition for a really long time. So the US actually standardized their cup and spoon measurement system before like Europe had a standardized like gram measurement system.
It was the early 1800s.
And a tradition of written recipes that were passed down. So that's like not a good why of why it happened, but that's why. And that's also one of the things, though, if we wanted to convert to metric, that's another thing we have to think about, is we now have a couple hundred years of recipes and cookbooks that are all measured in this way. And the thing that sucks with that is that you can't do a straight conversion of cups to grams, because volume does not translate very well to weight.
Yeah, because you could have stuff like sugar, which can be pretty coarse, and you get airspace between it. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's the reason why it is a subpar measurement system, is because it's not going to be the same from person to person, from altitude to altitude, from even sometimes from brand to brand, depending on what kind of flour you're using.
Yeah, but grams is grams. Air doesn't count.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing, is grams are grams, but like that would be an entire like thing. And so I think that if we tried to convert to metric, we would still have a lot of that imperial carryover for a very long time, because like we have all of this stuff, and that wouldn't stop when we tried to convert to metric. We would live with both for a lot longer than I think a lot of people
eventually it would die off. We just have to make the change.
Maybe or maybe not, but that would require a lot of people to make those changes, because if you think about things like family recipes, most people aren't going to change it.
Just do like what Canada does. Just print everything in both. Just make it a law that now everything has to have both.
Well, I mean, we're talking about some of these things that aren't necessarily being published. It's like you have family recipes And are
Ah.
you going to go through the trouble of converting your own family recipe
Yeah,
from
if I gave a
volume
shit
to
enough.
weight,
Yeah.
especially when you still have measuring cups and you can still just make it the same way? Why would you do that when you can still do it the way that you know?
Well, then you can
And
just
then
do
you're
that.
gonna
But
keep
like all the
passing it down
industrial
that
stuff
way.
will just have both. Like when you go to make
But-
mac and cheese, it'll be like
Yeah.
add 480
And
milliliters of milk.
That's the
you
thing,
know?
though, is there would be a lot of time with both, I think.
Yeah. But like that's fine. But like, do you know why so like most of Europe had their own imperial measurement systems? Do you know who was responsible for making the metric system the standard across the world? Because it's one dude.
Wasn't it the king at the time?
No, it's a man named Napoleon because he decided to fuck all of Europe.
A man named Napoleon.
Because he decided to fuck literally all of Europe twice. And the French standardized on the metric system. They even had a thing called metric time. There's a metric calendar.
Yeah.
And the French brought about the metric system standardization to the rest of the world. And because he literally fucked all of Europe, and then all of Europe lived under, the Napoleonic Wars for however long, and he forced these changes onto all of them.
Yeah.
They just got used to it. And even though the Napoleonic Wars only went on for 20 years, if that, in some of these countries, it was enough to be a lasting effect to where it's now still a thing.
Yeah,
so apparently
history's fun, tradition is fun.
We just got to force shit onto people for 20 years, and next thing you know,
Fair.
it'll be fucking normal.
We could do that. That's not really the way things generally are now, but we could go that route.
You could just do the Napoleon way. Do it, or we'll cut your head off.
Yeah. I will say, yes, I'm blonde now. I've been blonde for almost a year.
A while now, yeah.
It's close to a year. So it's been a while. Even multiple streams, I think, at this point, but that's fine.
The sterling.
Sometimes it has kind of the tinge, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
The sterling ounce to measure our bread rations. That's fair.
It's fair.
Exactly. The king's foot. That's what I was thinking of.
Which king, though?
That was.
I think it was Richard. Was it Richard II?
I don't remember, but that was part of the thing too, because like the standardized foot became, and that was why like that whole thing was fucked up. Was like the standardized foot was like his foot, and it was like, oh yeah, a foot, and it's like, well, not everyone's foot, and it was like, no, like a foot. It's like
well, they measured and they broke it down, yeah.
Yeah, and that man had a large foot.
Yeah, he did.
12
for back in the
fucking
day.
inches apparently, but
it's true. Because did you know that like a size 12 foot is not 12 inches long?
Yeah, I never assumed that was the way it was.
But like a lot of people do, and I'm like, you're dumb because the whole bottom of your shoe isn't even 12 inches long.
I don't know where that would have come from.
It's because Americans
not
are
really
stupid.
I've never heard of that, so I don't know where that came from.
Because the guy who invented the Brannick device, do you know what the difference between a size?
I sure don't.
So a Brannick device is that thing you put your foot in, like has the little sliders.
Yeah, well, I don't know whatever you're about to try to ask me if I know.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So the difference between each shoe size, so from like a 10 to 11 in like US shoe sizes is only 1/3 of an inch. That's the measurement difference. Each size is 1/3 of an inch in length.
Okay.
And I thought that was weird. Why would they standardize on that? I just like the Monda point system. Millimeters width and length. There we go.
Yeah, I don't care.
270, 104. It's the way to do it. Get the chemistry equipment to measure.
I disagree with that being the way to do it. Like, not necessarily that our way is better, but like, depending on what you need shoes for, which like I only learned is like I started running is like, so in US shoe sizes, your running shoes should be like a half size larger than your regular shoes, because if you like, I shouldn't even say if, like when you run,
your foot swells.
Yeah, your foot swells as the rest of your body does, because you're like exerting a lot and your circulation is more and your body swells and that sort of thing. So like, I get the half size. I mean, I guess you could figure out the same thing in the other system, but that kind of just seems like a lot more. It seems like a lot of work. It's more work than saying I need a half size larger than what I regularly wear.
It's fair.
In the very least. So
true. And I just wish more shoe companies made wide sizes.
That I will agree with because I definitely need wide sizes more than I ever thought that I did. Like my feet, I feel like they're not particularly wide, but the amount of times that I just like bust shoes out in like the I don't know, what do you call that?
What? The top part of the foot?
Yeah,
The
that
toe
part.
box. That's the toe
I
box.
guess the toe box, the wider part of the toe box or
Mhm.
whatever, like absolutely crazy how much I do. Like I'm having such issues with like my work boots and stuff because I'm not sure if the boots aren't good or if it's just the fact that they don't come in wide sizes and then
Well,
I
the boots
wear
aren't
them.
good.
Well, I know that
Yes.
they're not good, but like if they're just constructed so poorly because like I'm on my second pair already and like today is only like the second day I think that I wore these boots and like I can already tell that they're leaking and I can't tell if it's just because the boot was constructed poorly or if it's because it's not the right if like the sole shape isn't the right shape for my foot. Like I
Yeah.
can't tell if it's one of those things because I don't know if like anybody else who like wears those has like really complained about them as much as I am, but like
Yeah.
I've all like they're definitely leaking and it's definitely like an issue because I have to like there's definitely times where I have like standing water in my work environment, but there's also time where I have like water that is filled with like chemicals in my work environment and so
Getting those on your
I
skin is
have
bad.
yeah, I have a couple actually pretty nasty chemical burns on my feet right now from
I was
when
wondering. I kind of figured that's what those were.
yeah, so I have a couple of really gross chemical burns because it's all because of my shoes because they were leaking because I was like doing stuff with chemicals and water and
Yeah.
they got on my feet because my boots were leaking. So
Gotta invest in one of those nice extra tough pairs because they are
yeah,
all that
which
chemical and whatever. They're kind of pricey, but they have a really good
yeah.
warranty.
So if anyone has like good recommendations for like
Wellingtons.
good boots that like I could stand in either standing water or flowing water that could get up to a couple inches and my feet might still stay dry, I'm open for suggestions.
And you could use GovX. You can get extra tough work boots for like 50% off on GovX
I could.
because they care about the people. Which is where I bought this knife, and I got this like $300 knife for like $100 on GovX, which is nice. That's what I would recommend, the nice extra tough ones, because they work for like commercial fishermen
Yeah.
and a lot of commercial like places
I mean,
use
the
them.
only thing that I would be wary about, like commercial fishermen or like things like that, is like I also walk a lot at work. Like if I mentioned before, like I get a few miles in every day, like
Mhm.
generally like 5 or 6, and like that is the other thing is I don't know if I'm wearing out my boots quicker by just like walking a whole lot
Yeah.
and things like fishing, like you're not like walking a ton in your boots, or at least not at the pace that I'm at,
Yeah.
or like not on the surfaces that I am. You're not like that would be, I guess,
Mhm.
maybe one of my only other concerns.
That's why I would recommend these, because a lot of hunters actually wear these, like trekking through the mountains, and they
Mhm.
got a nice good grip on the bottom. They're not like most rubber
Yeah.
boots where they have some tread, but it's
I
not like
Don't care
enough.
about that.
Yeah, you can get some of their pairs with decent tread, and a lot of hunters are wearing them
Don't care.
like
I
hiking
just
and
want them
stuff,
to not leak.
and they shouldn't leak. They should be comfortable as well.
I'm just saying I don't care about tread. I want them to not leak. That's my biggest concern.
Fair.
So,
Well, if they do, within like 2 years, they will send you a new pair. That's what I like about their stuff. I'm very, after having a lot of foot problems in the military for a long time, I learned a lot about feet
mhm.
and like shoe sizing and stuff, to where I don't have any foot problems because I'm smart about shopping around for what's going to work best for me and stuff. So, but yeah, more wide sizes, because actually like humans genetically, our foot bones are spreading further apart with
Mhm.
each generation. So like,
Well, it makes sense because people are getting bigger, and
yeah.
so when people just like get bigger in general, you need a bigger base,
Mhm.
and that's all that's happening. So, but yeah, like I mean, my feet aren't like particularly big or anything. Like I actually, because my boss like brought me a couple extra pairs of boots in my work area, and I like wander at work sometimes because I can. And I came back and like one of the guys like out of my department was like looking at my boots. And at first I was like, bro, those are mine. You can't steal them. And he was like, I've just never seen them this small before. I'm like, I'm not even like a small like women's size, but like, I don't know. Apparently there's not a lot of women who like work around like what I do
Yeah.
or anything either. But it's like, like my feet aren't like tiny. I'm not like going around wearing like a women's 5 or anything.
Yeah.
Like my feet aren't that small. I'm not that they're like bigger. I don't know. They're fucking average. But
the average woman size is 9.
so I'm
9.
smaller than an average woman size, I guess.
But like the average men's size is 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like.
Yeah, so
it shouldn't be that hard, and it's not like my feet are that big because apparently they're like smaller than the average woman's size. It's just that like now the more that I've found wide sizes, the more I've realized that like wides are they're a lot more comfortable, and like actually I think a lot more people would be more comfortable in wides.
They would be, but like the shoe industry is making so much money hand over fist that they refuse to change their lasts that they use. The standard D width is too narrow for a lot of people's feet nowadays.
Yeah.
So, but like for tennis shoes, it really doesn't matter because they're made so fucking cheaply. They'll stretch around your foot. You know, a lot of shoes and a lot of people who are buying shoes aren't spending enough money to get a pair where it's going to matter. They're made with such cheap materials that it's just going to stretch around your foot no matter what. But like if you invest in a lot of nice pairs of shoes like I do, stuff that you want to last 5, 6, even 10 years, investing in proper sizing is the right way to do it. And if you're right on the edge, it's always best to size up because your feet do swell when you're standing on them. So a lot of people forget about that. Make sure you polish your shoes. If you don't, you're doing it wrong. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. People don't polish their shoes enough.
Yeah, well, most shoes aren't like leather anymore, so.
Well, people are buying the wrong shoes then.
Don't polish your running shoes. That would be dumb.
Nope, but do put waterproof coating on.
Yeah, you probably don't need to polish your Crocs. You'll be fine.
Fuck, nobody told me. There you go.
Yeah, I also wear Brooks for running, so it's been my favorite. I went through a couple different pairs before I settled on Brooks, and I like them a lot more than anything I wore before them. So
they make a nice pair of running shoes. They really do. I like my nice Allbirds. My wool shoes.
I was gonna ask you about those if those were wool.
They are wool shoes. They got wool insoles, and they have a nice wedge sole that's natural latex rubber, and the whole upper is wool. It's like wearing a slipper. They're so lightweight and comfortable, and they breathe so well.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. It depends on how much support that gives, but
quite a lot actually, because it's a wedge sole.
That was one of like sometimes when people talk about how light things are, like it sounds really nice, like in theory, but then like in practice, it's not. Because I've probably shit on the newer like hot weather uniforms a lot because I don't like them, and people are like, "Oh, they're so light. Oh, they feel like pajamas." Okay, well, like that sucks when you have shit in your pockets and then you have to run somewhere, and it's just like, you know, like you feel it, like when you're running because now your pockets are like moving. I hated wearing them. It sucks when you have to like do like actual like shit. Like if you're crawling through the sand, you fucking feel it.
Which is weird because the uniform weights are almost the same.
Maybe.
So they're not actually lighter. The weave is just different.
Well, I own them. I know, but like
they're about the same weight.
I don't really think so. Maybe I should grab them because like they definitely like I could definitely tell like in the dark on a hanger what was what.
Yeah.
Like it's enough, but
I mean we can science this because the fabric, like do you know how fabric is measured in like for thickness and stuff?
Nope.
So like a meter.
I don't care, but all I know is that it sucks. I know in a field environment I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And I know that like
it's a looser
on a hanger,
fabric.
I can tell the difference. So
because so like a yard of fabric, the weight of that is how heavy the fabric is. How much does a square yard of fabric weigh? Or like a standard bolt. you know, and that's how the fabric weight is measured. So like when you look at denim and they're like, it's 13-ounce denim, and a lot of people are like, what does that mean? I'm like, that's how much a cubic, like how much
Never
a
seen it marketed that way.
so for like guy jeans, like if you're looking at, sometimes you want a thicker pair of jeans for different activities. Like casual jeans are usually thinner denim, and like work pants are like thicker. So when you see like 13-ounce or like 14-ounce,
I don't see that though.
that's probably not on girls' clothes, but like
I'm not even on. I don't see it anywhere.
it's on all of my jeans. But like you see, that's how much a square yard of the fabric weighs, and that's like you can judge how heavy the cloth is going to be. Because I think the jungle uniform is only marginally lighter than the fabric that's used for the regular uniform.
Okay, well, jungle is not jungle.
Hot weather, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, the whatever fucking IHWC, whatever the fuck the
The
abbreviation
improved
is.
hot weather combat uniform.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not jungle, and you should know that. You of all people
I should know that.
who is pedantic as fuck
That-
about this sort of thing.
It was tested as the jungle uniform, but it's because like I have one of the experimental ones, and it says jungle uniform parentheses experimental.
Yeah,
And
it's not
the
that.
same exact uniform, same fabric, same cut, same pocket layout, everything. But they decided to change the name when they actually adopted it. So
Yeah,
that's what throws me
probably
for a
to
loop.
make it more usable commonly, because if you call it a jungle uniform, nobody's going to get to wear it not deployed in a jungle.
We don't deploy
and
anybody to the
calling
jungle
it-
anyways.
That's what I'm saying, is you're not going to get to use it. But if you call it in inclement hot weather, at least you can kind of pretend it's okay, but they didn't actually put any temperature restrictions on it. So
Yeah.
they might have like temperature guidelines like they do for the APFU, like recommendations for what you should wear it when. But yeah, I don't think they don't have anything like that. The only real requirements are that you can't combine the hot weather with the all weather. If you wear a hot weather top, you have to wear hot weather bottoms. You can't wear hot weather top with all weather bottoms. That's pretty much the only stipulation they put on it.
I mean, makes sense. They fade so much differently. And
They
stuff.
do, and they look like trash.
They do look
very
like trash.
quickly.
That
so-
nylon fades
and
so
a
quick.
lot of people wear them when they should / ought to be considered not usable anymore. But
Frac should absolutely be prejudiced against because I don't want to fucking wear sandpaper. Frac are a disgrace. Fuck, are they so awful? No, Frac are awful. They're like wearing potato sacks. They're so like coarse thread. They're awful. Frac are absolute garbage. I'm sorry, they really are. Frac are absolute dog ass. I would much rather just be on fire in a regular uniform. I have been on fire. But yeah, no, fucking depending on, there's actually a couple different versions of the Frac. There's the one that's like all Nomex, and there's the one that's like all poplin. The poplin one isn't so bad. The Nomex ones are awful though. Not a fan of the Nomex ones. How about this? You could just wear a cotton one too. I mean, what does everybody have against cotton? I don't it worked. Wool and cotton worked for hundreds of years as uniforms. Nobody ever had any problems. Then we start coming out with nylon and polyester and stuff, and suddenly everything sucks. Hot weather, cotton. Cold weather, wool. Bam. Problem solved. It does catch on fire. That it does. Nomex, to be fair, does catch on fire as well. It's just self-extinguishing. I'm just saying, that 100% cotton, baby. When it comes to hot weather, you're never going to convince me it's better than 100% cotton. I'm wearing literally my 100% cotton BDU shorts right now. And I'm wearing a nice 100% cotton short sleeve sweatshirt because it's a really good uniform. It's nice. It's the way to go. But like, yeah, it's so hard to beat wool. And the only thing that I would change is I would wear cotton when it's hot out. That's it. Otherwise, you could wear wool all year. And I'm surprised nobody gave me good compliments on my knife. I finally bought a knife that isn't a stiletto. Like, this is a good like utility knife. It's not even like a fighting knife. It's just like a good old like utility knife. There's nothing fancy about it. It's girthy thick though. It's like Pixar mom thick. It even fits in my little baby hands. But yeah, if you're infantry, you wear every uniform, commando, because that's the best way to do it. What more do you need? It's not supposed to be resistant to chemicals. I like cotton because it's grown here, for one. It's a subsidized crop. So it works well in hot weather. It's easy to clean, it's comfortable, and it's cheap. That's it. It's also a 100% natural, biodegradable item. That's the thing. Whereas, like, if you look at nylon and polyester and stuff, it's made from oil, which is bad for the environment and stuff like that. It's just like, just make a cotton uniform. It's renewable and biodegradable. And it works just fine. If it was good enough for Vietnam, it's good enough for now. That's all I gotta say. Good enough for World War II and Vietnam, good enough for now. Case closed. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. If it's good enough for World War II and Vietnam, why are we reinventing the wheel by making the dodecahedron? That's all I'm saying. Sure, it rolls pretty good, but did it really need to be done? It is terrible for the environment, but that's just because of how we industrial farm it. You could just throw the shit out there and it would be fine. They're trying to tell me that plastic clothes are better than cotton clothes.
That's interesting. I mean, it depends on the time frame you're looking at, I guess. Right.
Hey, if it's good enough for World War II and Vietnam,
right?
It's good enough for now.
I don't think it was about turning the frogs gay. I thought it was the gay frogs were turning people gay too.
Well, maybe because people are licking gay frogs, and that's how you catch gay.
Yeah, that's
how it works. But like, I was telling them, like, I like cotton because it's a renewable resource. We grow it here in America. America's actually one of the #1 producers of cotton in the world. I think like the 3rd highest, and it's a biodegradable material. So like. Or we could make clothes out of plastic and then burn them because they touched human skin.
Yeah.
You know, and poison the atmosphere more.
Oh yes, cotton can't hold up to chemicals such as battery acid.
But to be fair, not a lot of fabric can. I have a lot of stuff, actually. There's a whole closet full of things over there. I got a lot of M65s to get rid of to free up closet space. I got a lot of weird collectible M65s. Like, I don't know if I have my weird Vietnam one that was made out of shelter halves. Like that, this pattern. Like if somebody wants an M65 in this pattern, it was made out of shelter halves that some fucking guy had made. Which is actually really, really cool. I have one, like an unissued one. It's really nice. So. Hey, Pippi. What are you doing, buddy? Hope it's a good place to lay down.
Oh, he's slinking.
That's right. I got things to like do, another auction to do. Like I was showing them this.
Okay.
which is for like the ACH and the ECH. You can put this in place of your crown pad, and you can cover it in water and like freeze it. Helps keep your head cool. And it's from like
Okay.
way back in the day. This is from like the early 2000s. Before the ACH was even the ACH, it was still just the Mitch helmet.
Okay.
So, and I got like a whole bunch. I got like stuff like this that if you guys want to bid on, because it's new. It's in the package. It has the instructions even.
I was gonna say it probably didn't make it very far considering it's branded as Kool-Aid, but
That's right. It's the Kool-Aid Thermo Tux thing. So I do have a UCP M65. I think it's over there somewhere. Oh no, that one's in my like actual room closet. That's the gross gray camouflage M65 that nobody liked. Yeah. But I got a bunch of accessories and stuff to sell. There was hardly any actual like UCP M65s even. It kind of went away at that time. Which is unfortunately the best combat garment that like the best probably single uniform piece the US military has ever come out with other than the poncho liner is the M65 jacket. Arguably the best. But yeah, I should set up a stream to get rid of some of those if people want M65s and stuff because I got a bunch that I don't necessarily need that I should get rid of. Oliver's just having a bath over there. It's time for a
Pippin
fight.
says play.
That's right, Pippin. You show him who's boss. Beat the shit out of him. Kick him in the face.
Oliver's just trying to lick him.
I agree. The Marine Corps should have got one in Marpat. Surprised they didn't. It's the last time the U.S. military was good. The early 2000s. Oh, it's just Pippi. Trying to lick water out of his dish. Oh, what do you guys think of this? Now that more of you guys are here. The American Denizens box, pretty much. Pretty much. It is nice. I worked real hard on it. It's going to be added to my Canadian helmet pile once I actually get it all done. It's been years in the making for that. To put it all together unissued. M51, like the helmet or the jacket or the pants or the machine gun or the there's a lot of potentially M51s. We're talking about the winter parka, the combat pants, the combat uniform, the combat boots, the French helmet, there's a lot of M51s.
He had a better naming system.
Hey, America caused all that. Too many different things just in World War II America had that were called the M1. Dumb as fuck. Well, this isn't a Woodland helmet cover. This is an Erdl helmet cover.
Oh, is that what? I was like, steel pot. What the fuck?
It's a steel helmet. You could cook out of it, but it ruins the temper on the steel, and then you're fucked. If you ever have to, like, bang your head or something.
Yeah, well, what would you rather have? Food or, a good noggin later? Later, who knows if it'll even save you?
Well, I mean, to be fair, in Vietnam, a lot of guys didn't even wear these. So, because all they did was get hot, and if you're going to get shot in the head, you're gonna get shot in the head.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no stopping it. An AK is gonna go right through that like it's a beer can. You might as well not even have the extra weight. So, but yeah, this is an actual like 70s era Ertl helmet pattern. It's the brown dominant Ertl, which would become Woodland. So all that Woodland is this pattern blown up a little bit. It's just bigger shapes. That's all. But yeah, it's an actual, because Canada in the 70s decided to replace all of their, so you know that little like pie dish that Kevin's wearing?
Not really. No.
Okay. It's just like that one with the tan chin strap. It's a little short pie dish.
I don't really look at Kevin that much.
Yeah, but it's the same exact shape as that one.
Okay.
That's what Kevin's wearing. That was Canada's standard helmet until 1980,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an awful design.
You love to talk about how behind the times Canada is in the military world.
They are vastly behind the times. They got rid of their last black powder gun in like the 70s out of military service, which is 100 years after smokeless powder was adopted, pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty awful. But so they bought a whole bunch of these in the late 70s because now the Vietnam War is over, and the U.S. was like, we got all this shit we want to get rid of.
And Canada was like, I love a garage sale.
That's right. We'll buy them for cheap. And the United States is like, here you go. And they would wear these until they were fully replaced, I think, in the early 2000s. They would wear Vietnam era M1 helmets with like the Woodland cover on them.
So if you think about it, Canada's kind of the OG milsurp collector.
They bought a lot of British garbage and a lot of American garbage and decided it was good enough.
That's yes, right. Asking M1 what to the boomers who come in asking for an M1.
M1 what? That's goddamn it.
I mean, fair though.
Just call it by its real name. Like if you're looking for the gun, everyone's like asking for the M1 Garand. It's the U.S. rifle caliber 30 M1. That's its actual name.
Well, even if you call it that, M1 Garand, like I don't know.
Garand was Canadian. That's the best part. Everyone's like, it's the greatest American rifle.
Oh,
he's Canadian. It's Canadian.
That wasn't implied there, but yeah, sure.
It's just funny.
I'm just saying, like use some sort of qualifier to help people know what the fuck, because yeah, you look like an idiot going in and asking for an M1.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe fine. You go somewhere that's like very specific. It's like, oh yeah, you're in a gun shop. You're probably looking for
an M1 Thompson, an M1 BAR, an M1 Garand, an M1 carbine.
One of the five, right?
Yeah.
But
it's fair. What do you mean, like the Finnish? The Finnish had different names. I take offense to that. The Finns were actually really smart. They had a lot of the same guns as the Russians, and they went out of their way to name them different so they wouldn't be confused. Like when everyone's like, I'm looking for an M91 Mosin, I instantly go to, that is a Finnish long Mosin, like World War I era Mosin. Because they specifically called it the M91 because the Russians called theirs the M1891. So
whatever helps you sleep at night,
Yeah. It's one of those things. I need an M9 bayonet. I has one of those. I don't have anything to put it on because I haven't put the bayonet lug on my shotgun yet. But I got one of those. It's the Dolphin one. The rare Dolphin one. The Frobis. The Frobis.
You can't leave me here with these people. I don't know what we're talking about.
Ask her questions. She likes music and cats and...
Yeah, this never works. We just wait awkwardly in silence till you come back.
Cat questions, go. There, see, I did it. It'll be fine. You can talk about... I was going to say, where is one of them? And we'll just give them to you.
Yeah.
But they're not here. They're all hiding.
They won't ask questions.
They will. Sometimes it just takes them a minute, too, because they're in different areas.
Yeah, that's very boomer of them to just act like you should be able to read their minds and know exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, there they are. What are you two doing? Why are you over here? Oh.
Music is good, just army band stuff mostly. I'm not really looking for anything outside of army band stuff, so that's going good. Practice is good. I mean, I can always practice more, but you know, overall it's pretty decent. I have never witnessed somebody throw up into their instrument while playing. Which is kind of interesting because, like, if you do think about, like, I feel like in elementary school, people would just, like, randomly throw up sometimes. Like, I don't know how far, like, I'm pretty far removed from elementary school, but I still remember, like, sometimes people would just, like, randomly throw up in class. Yeah, never in their instruments, though. That's gross. I'm just imagining the cleaning that would have to go into that. If somebody threw up in their instrument, especially a flute, like that's that's so gross. Yeah, music is kind of weird. It's one of those weirder things for like nerding out because like it's one of those subjects that is broad enough that like you can get a lot of different subgroups and it's easy to like be very knowledgeable in like one subgenre and like not another. So it can be easy to nerd out, but it can also be really easy to just kind of be like, yeah, this is like not my thing and I don't care. Ultrasonic cleaner, the whole thing. I don't know how well that would work for an instrument just because like I think a lot of people think of them as mostly just being metal, but especially with things like flutes, they have a bunch of different like corks and pads that probably wouldn't do as well in something like that if assuming that that's something that does well with like cleaning metal, but then like different ones are going to be made out of different things. So like mine is mostly silver and you have some that are gold and then there's ones that are, you know, nickel that are just silver plated. And there's a lot of different materials, I guess, that go into it that I don't know if, and that's just the metals. And then that's not counting all of the springs and the cork, which is, it's cork. And then the pads that are made out of other stuff. I don't know if those would go as well with other things, unless you just want to replace all of them, but then that becomes like a very expensive trip for cleaning that. So
Yeah.
don't get into the mathy stuff when playing drums.
The mathy stuff.
Interesting.
Just putting in the ultrasonic cleaner. No, don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Is like there's so many variables.
Also, just take your instrument away from your mouth if you're gonna throw up. Like I don't understand how some people manage to throw up in the places they do. Move. Turn your fucking head. Like
sometimes it's just projectile and it's just coming, you know.
Yeah, but like it's not rocket science. I don't think I've ever been afraid to throw up in anything that was in front of me. Like you could feel it coming.
Generally.
Yeah. So like just move. Go somewhere. Turn your head. But yeah, those fucking pads are expensive to replace. Because like you have the cork ones and then you have the felt ones, which would be even worse. That's bad. Gross. I don't understand some people. What? Why is it bad to nerd out to music? Music is easy to nerd out on, which can be too bad. Why is that bad? Why is being a nerd about anything bad?
Hmm.
As we say, don't be a nerd about music with a literal autographed picture of a guy in a music stand in the background.
And a second one, but it's in the thing still. But
Yeah. That's funny. Some people. I was gonna grab Willie so everyone could see the botched sheep shearing job we did. If you were wondering
let's not.
what I meant about time to shear our sheep.
Let's just let her have her moment. Give her a couple days.
Yeah. She was really matted bad and her hair was getting really long, so we bought a pet shaver to try to trim her, but her hair is so thick that it was kind of difficult to shave her, so she got kind of patchy.
Yeah.
But we got all the mats off of her at least, and
Well, not all of them.
The vast majority. There's a couple still we can get, and then after doing homework, I read that we don't even need to like shave her. We just got to bathe her regularly and brush her and trim her mats.
We'll see. I don't know, but we'll see.
So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, she looks horrendous right now. Absolutely horrendous. Did a not successful job at shearing the sheep. So.
But she is much happier. So
she is. She didn't seem to hate us afterwards, which is good. What's going on over there? Finish him, Pippi. Finish him.
I was gonna say what's going on is Oliver's letting Pippi win one.
Or maybe Pippi's finally just being like, I'm bigger than you. I'm higher in the food chain.
No, Oliver just kind of whapped onto the floor like he knew it was coming, you know?
Look at this. Pippi's like a ninja, though. He's freaking it out. He has the high ground. He's taller.
I think Oliver's been going a little bit harder with Pippin lately, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's
got to show him
realizing that Pippin has a couple moves, you know? So he's not just kind of like batting him away like he did when he was a kitten.
And that he's not in maybe because Oliver's an old man, he feel like he has to keep his dominance. Because Pippi is.
Oh, look at his ears.
Yeah, they're getting after it. Get him, Pippi. Show him who's boss. He's got to be knocked down a peg. Beat him up. Beat him up.
Oliver always just starts grooming him midway through anyway, so.
That's fair. One day, Pippi, you'll get him. Just gotta stop being so scared. Shucks.
They've gone at it pretty well together a couple times, so.
That's all right. As long as nobody gets seriously injured, because I would be pissed.
Well, exactly. As long as they don't get injured, and I don't think they will, so.
You don't know that.
I don't, but I don't think they will.
It's all fun and games until one day I'm like, Pippin's missing an eye.
That's what Pippin's youth was for. I'm pretty sure that's why his eye got all like that. I think Oliver caught him in the eye.
When he was all piratey for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. Oh, hello, sir. Pet. Pet, pet, pet.
The original baby boy.
Yeah, he's not even the best one, though.
He's not. Unfortunately, Pippin is the best baby boy now.
Because this one throws up and pees on the rug. And Pippin does not.
Pippin's an angel.
He is. He doesn't do anything bad. He behaves very well. Doesn't go on anything he's not supposed to. He doesn't throw up. He's not mean to any of the other cats.
Pippin's the model cat.
He is.
Except for when he's a little stupid and does something dumb, but you know, it's
That's
okay.
everybody. Right, Oliver? How old is he now? Oliver's like what? Is that 7?
Something like that, yeah.
When's his birthday?
July of 2016.
Dang, he's gonna be old.
Mhm.
There's plenty of cats.
So that means he turns 7 this year.
Okay. Pretty soon, coming up. We'll have to get him a cake or something.
A cake for a cat.
Yeah, they make those. It's a thing. What? You spoil him enough. He can have a cupcake. He eats everything else anyways. He can definitely have a cupcake on his 7th birthday.
So I don't know what it is about these cats. I've seen other cats too. Like they just are obsessed with baked goods. It's so weird.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Oliver will eat anything. Even if he doesn't like it, he'll give it a good try.
True.
And he's like, this is straight ass. And he'll spit it out. But like, he will eat anything. He's a vulture.
Yeah. Oliver's a big fan of the old college try. So
That's right. Licking all my lettuce today when I'm making hamburgers.
Well, yeah, it's green. So.
Yeah, but it's like I had cheese and like burger, and he's like, I'm gonna lick this lettuce.
It was green.
For whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what Pippi did? He sat there and watched politely.
Pippin loves to watch. Like
he just sits in the corner and he folds his paws all up, all politely. He just observes.
He watches me make. I make my lunch in the morning. I don't do a hot lunch for work. I just will usually make a wrap or something. But he watches every single morning. I take all my ingredients out. I start, doing stuff, and Pippin just bolts up on the counter and he lays down and he stares at me. He just stares at me the whole time. Sometimes he'll get really into my bag of greens, whatever kind of lettuce or mixed greens or cabbage or whatever it is I have. He'll get really into that bag. He might try to get into that, but that's the only thing he'll try to do. Like Oliver, like a cat, will sometimes try to steal a slice of lunch meat from me or something, right?
Not very stealthily. He thinks he is.
Yep.
It's very obvious.
Well, he thinks he is because he'll wait. He'll wait for me to take a step or two away, and then he thinks that I just, I might.
Haha! I'm in the clear, but you're I'm clearly watching you do this. Yeah.
So.
That's all right. He tries. At least he eats stuff. Maybe we can have filet mignon on her birthday, Oliver. I know you like that.
True.
It's his favoriteest.
Have filet mignon for my cat's birthday.
We can definitely do that. It's the thing. He likes pieces of filet mignon.
He does.
It's a good cat right there. Except for when he pees.
Which isn't often, though, to be fair. So.
Yeah. But he did deserve it that one time, and he knew it.
It's okay. He knew it.
Yep. I'm brushing my teeth one day before work, and he walks past me into the empty guest bedroom. So I keep brushing my teeth, and I just step out of the bathroom, and I look at him, and he makes direct eye contact with me, squats, and starts to piss. And I still toothbrush in my mouth. My hand comes back, and it's 2 strides toward him. And by the first stride, he had his eyes closed and his ears down. He damn well knew I was gonna just swat him so hard. And I swatted him, and he scampered out of there. And he's like, "Yep, I know." Just 1 step into me coming towards him. He's like, "Yep, I know. This is a risk I was willing to take."
Yep, right to the litter box. Finish.
Yep, I swatted him good, and he's been pretty well behaved ever since then. But just the fact that he had the audacity to look me right in the eyes and then piss I wasn't going to do anything about it.
They just don't respect him.
Oh, he certainly did, by the fact how quickly he shut his eyes and put his ears away like he braced for impact. He fucking damn well knew. And then he's been super good, how it should be.
He has. He's been super good since then. So.
Which is great, because I don't want to have to do that to him, but never to Pippi, because he's behaved. He knows.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely knows.
Look
But
at him
we're going on.
keeping himself entertained.
Well, I mean, it's not hard. He's very dumb. Like, it's not hard. But we'll probably go for a couple more minutes here because it'll be 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's about
You
time
gotta go
for
to
me
bed. I gotta do more homework. I gotta go. I think my next one for work is on baton usage. I don't carry a baton at work, but I have to be trained on how to do it. So,
That's fair.
yep, it's a thing. It's free money. I could be a certified baton expert at a job where I can't carry a baton.
Yeah.
But I'll have the training in case one day they let us.
True. Things are always changing.
That's fair. Look at you, buddy.
Hey.
Did you bring a thing? That was really nice of him. He brought us a thing.
Well, I threw him a mouse, and then he played with it for a little bit, and then he brought it back to me. So it's kind of like fetch. Fetch with cats sometimes is just a bit of a long game. So.
Yeah, what a guy. At least he knows. What a guy. Well, hey, Oliver. That's fair. That is pretty much rule one of baton usage. Sounds about right. There's a lot of dumb shit that does not pertain to me at all. Like, I've had to watch 4 videos that are all the same stuff, that are like an hour long each, on proper diet with all the same information.
Okay.
Why? Why 4?
Because you understand people in the general industry you work in have a reputation for being fat.
Yeah, a lot of my coworkers are very fat. They're very fat.
That's why.
And I'm like,
because they've already heard it, so maybe a couple more times.
yeah. See, that's the thing. You can't always trust the thing at the top for who's watching or not. Because if they have like a VPN or something like that, it won't show them. But people can still be watching. It's definitely a thing I've noticed. I have like 5 or 6 of my regulars have VPN, so they won't show up in the users watching thing. No, because like even on my end, it shows 1 viewing. So whoever doesn't have a VPN is the only one we're seeing. Hey, Pippi. Is that a good spot?
Oh,
You done playing?
We gotta have a Pippi camera.
It's a lot of cameras. Those webcams are expensive. We also gotta do
No, not like one on his head. We just gotta show him more, I think.
I mean, anybody could pull up on their phone, me or you, just the code, and you could just have the cat camera.
Yeah, exactly.
We could do that.
Could move it right now. Show Pippi.
We could show Pippi if I don't startle him by standing up.
Oh, less startled. He loves a good sniff.
You a good boy, Pippi? Are you the bestest boy? Maybe. That's what he says. He is the bestest boy.
Yeah. See, Pippi Cam is popular.
It is. It's the best cat. So, but yeah, we'll have to do like cooking stream soon where you make salsa or something.
True. I gotta make some stuff.
And it would be pretty easy to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that would be really easy to do that I think people would like.
I mean, we could schedule it. We don't work this weekend.
True. Well,
I do have Saturday game night. I have to go play poker with the rest of the night staff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't have to work, but I have other stuff going on. I've got some funerals and stuff. So
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably stream and do stuff over the weekend because I pretty much worked the last couple of my days off doing a bunch of shit. So
yeah.
I didn't really stop to relax for most of it. But we got a lot done. We got a lot of stuff done. But yeah.
Ooh, I have un gatito on my foot. That's my foot.
I was just going based on where the tail is.
That's where I was petting him. That's where my foot was.
Sponsored by Gorilla Tape. Hey, that's one way we could shave Lady.
Gorilla tape? No.
Why not? It'll be fine.
No.
She'll be fine. What's up? Showing up kind of late. We're about to cut her because Paige has got to go to bed and I got to do homework for work.
Yeah.
I got to be certified. The more stuff I get certified in, the more money I make. Look at this guy. Bite her in the face. That'll show her.
Fair.
So
He'd do it too. Look at that face. He's
he
ready.
would. He's poised. The tolerance. That's right. Certified for a lot of stuff for work because I work in law enforcement, and a lot of the stuff, if I get certified in, I get a pay raise. So if I just do a shitload of them, I can get like up to like $12 extra an hour if I get certified in all the stuff.
Probably won't, but he could. So
I mean, it's a thing. Whereas if I complete it by a certain date, I'm technically certified. I would have to renew certification like every year for a lot of this stuff, but it's an extra like $12 an hour, which is a hell of a raise.
they won't, but
So like I know I have a lot of them.
I'm gonna go to bed.
You go to bed. I'm gonna shut her off here. All right, everybody. You leaving this? You want me to put it away?
What? It's whatever.
Okay. Eh. Ah. What's your opinion on them? They're pretty all right. I mean, depends on who made them. How's the part hunting on the L1A1 FL going? I have all the parts. I just gotta wait for the receiver that I want to still come in stock. That's the thing. I'm still waiting for the inch pattern receiver that I want to come back in stock, and I'm on a mailing list. It's the last part I'm waiting for. That's about it. Hey, you. All the kitties stayed down here with me, which is all right by me. And yeah. So we'll have to do a cooking stream soon. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. So I'm gonna go back and do work homework, which is unfortunate, but it needs to get done. The best company that made them, there really isn't a best company that made them. I would love to be able to do that, but the Canadian parts just aren't around, unfortunately. Because the Canadians had a lot of distinctive parts compared to a lot of the other FAL manufacturers. So you just want the KS90 boots, you just want a later made pair, because the early made pairs, the soles had problems with delaminating. So yes, the Canadian pattern L1A1 was an inch pattern. The only people that did inch pattern FALs were Australia, Canada, and Britain. The rest of them were metric pattern. So yeah. But this is the Benchmade 162. That's what this is. It comes with this fancy deerskin sheath, which is actually a really nice sheath. It even has like a plastic insert in it. It's really nice. Yeah, I got it off GovX as a law enforcement person. I got it for like $100. It's like a damn near $300 knife. So I really like it. It's my first not like combat knife because I like stiletto combat knives a lot. It's kind of, I have a small collection of stiletto combat knives. This is like the first one that's not a stiletto combat knife. I've been carrying it around with me the last couple of days. I just wear it through the belt loop. And I like it. The sheath's comfortable, fits real nice, fits in my hand nice, and I've even got tiny hands. So it's a really thick knife. It's a full tang. It's a 1/4 inch thick S30V steel. It's a good knife. It's real sharp. So yeah, so I'm probably gonna shop around on GovX a little bit more. Yeah, it's a good bushcraft knife. I think that's actually the model it is. I just know them by all the Benchmade stuff by the numbers because I like them as a company. But yeah, I just noticed the 162, but I think it's called the bushcraft. Wouldn't surprise me. I know India did have some FALs in inch, but they standardized on metric. Mora makes a good knife. If you're looking for a nice introductory knife, Mora makes a very, very good introductory knife. I can probably shut this off since the regular light's on. And yeah, I'm just stretching my helmet cover so I can eventually wet it down and get it perfect, nice and seamless. Mora's nice. Mora makes a good, nice knife. I really can't complain about a Mora. But yeah, this is a real nice knife and sheath for what I paid for it. It's kind of chunky and square, which I like. Has nice kind of like forest green micarta handles, nice thick bit of S30V. Can't complain. And yeah, they put a nice plastic insert inside the sheaths, which gives it some nice rigidity, but keeps the knife from, fucking the whole sheath up, which is, I mean, these sheaths are like $28 to replace, but a nice big heavy D-ring if you want to just put an extension on it or something, or like boot carry it or whatever. Do whatever you want. Yeah, same with mine. Mine was made by hand too. In the United States, Portland, Oregon. No, you should be fine. They only seem to fail under like extreme use. And a lot of it is so like you'll see a seam on them where the sole kind of meets the rand, and the rand is a rubber part of the sole that kind of goes up the side walls of the boot. There's kind of a seam around there, and they were splitting along that seam, which eventually allowed water to get in there, and then eventually it just would tear the sole off with hard use, which is a bit of a problem. But overall, they're pretty good boots. And the later ones, they would just fix that to be all one piece. Is the only reason I say get second ones and not get later ones, because not everybody had problems with the first generation pairs. But the second generation pairs, they made it all one piece, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, everybody. Time for me to shut down the stream and do some homework. I got to stay on top of that crap, unfortunately. It's a big, big thing. 42 hours worth of training, so it's a lot. So, but yeah, I'm always happy to help, man. I got to try to stream more regularly and try to get some more videos out regularly. Like I'm stretching this because I want to do a video on how to get it to fit really, really nice. As you can see, there's still some kind of ridges in it back here, and kind of up front there's this extra bit of fabric. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice, we're gonna stretch that cover a little bit, and then we're gonna wet it down and get it crisp on this helmet. I mean, it doesn't look so bad the way it is, but like we're gonna get it crisp. It's gonna be tight, TIT tight on this helmet by the end of it. I'll do a video on that. So that's right, good old GD. Well, good luck, man. So thank you all, and I will see all of you here sometime later. Hopefully, I only work tomorrow night. That's my only work day this week. So hopefully sometime this weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Toodles.